purpose of this video is to give you a brief overview of what to expect on the TEAS test, which is given to all students who wish to enroll in health science programs at Kennebec Valley Community College. The TEAS, which stands for the Test of Essential Academic Skills, is actually a national standardized test used by many universities and colleges. And it's to measure the academic preparedness of students who are looking to enter health science programs. In this overview, I'm going to also point out some of the changes that have come about with the version 7 of the TEAS, which is rolling out on June 3rd. So here at Kennebec Valley Community College, the TEAS is an entrance requirement for all students who wish to enter the following programs: nursing, physical therapy assistant, occupational therapy assistant, radiologic technology, and respiratory therapy. The TEAS consists of 4 sections. There are 170 questions total. 20 of those are unscored, and the total time allowed for the TEAS is 209 minutes. Unscored questions are questions that the ATI company is testing before they add them to their test bank to use on an actual exam. The content areas, and these are in the correct order as you will experience them when you take the TEAS, are reading, 53 questions, 6 unscored. Time allowed is 55 minutes. Math, 38 questions, 4 unscored, 57 minutes allowed. Science, 50 questions, 6 unscored, and 60 minutes allowed. And English and language usage, 37 questions with 4 unscored and 37 minutes allowed. Up till now, the TEAS has consisted totally of multiple choice questions with 4 response options. In the new version, the majority of the questions are still multiple choice with 4 response choices. And there are 4 new question types for the computer administered version of the TEAS. So this is whether you will be taking it at home, on remotely, or here on campus via computer. Multiple select questions are questions that ask you to select all that apply, and you will have 4 to 6 response options. To score correctly on this question, you have to get all of the options or you get no points. Fill in the blank requires a numeric response. Probably this will be seen in the science and math sections, or perhaps in the other sections as well. Usually it's a calculation. The exact answer is expected. You're not going to be expected to enter the units of measurement. That will be in there for you, but pay attention to how they want it rounded, for example. Ordering questions are where you will click and drag to put the options in the correct sequence. Again, you must get these all correct. You must get the correct sequence to get full credit, to get credit for this problem. Hotspots, you select an area of an image. So you'll have an image with 3 to 4 spots where you can, hover your mouse, and you'll have to click on the correct image based on the question. The minimum required scores for acceptance into KVCC's health science programs are: for nursing, we look at the total score. A 70th percent is what's the minimum requirement. So your individual content area scores are not counted, but they do figure into your total score. So in a sense, they are counted. The physical therapy, occupational therapy, and respiratory therapy programs all have the same cutoff scores, expecting a total score of 61, reading 71, math 65, science 51, English 62. And finally, the RAD Tech program is expecting a score of 64% total, 73% reading, 69% math, 54% science, and 63% English. Now, just how is the exam scored? All the scores are based on 0 to 100% for the content area and the total scores. It's based on the percentage of questions answered correctly. That score is adjusted to account for differences in the various forms of the test. So they look at the difficulty of questions on the various forms of the test and adjust the scores as necessary so that it can be fair. The sub-content area scores are percent of items answered correctly, but they're not comparable across forms. So they're not used for your total score. A few tips and frequently asked questions. A calculator. Will you have a calculator? A 4-function calculator does drop down on the screen when you are taking the online exam. So any question where a calculator would be allowed, you'll see the calculator drop down. Proctoring. The college contracts with the remote proctoring platform Proctorio. Any non-testing, if you come to campus to take the test, there will be a live proctor for you. Related to proctor, but written a little bit below here, are what is allowed in your testing space when taking the exam. Only testing items are allowed. So you cannot have anything like tissues, drinks, phones. You will be allowed one blank, regular sheet of paper for working out problems. The time, you should plan to set a maximum of 4 hours to complete the exam. The total time to take the exam is 209 minutes, but there is a 10-minute break allowed after the math section. Flagging questions. You may flag questions to be reviewed when you're taking each section of the exam, but you cannot revisit those questions once you've moved on to another section. So say, for example, that you complete the reading section a few minutes early and you move on to the math section, you will not be allowed to come back to the reading section. But you can flag questions to come back to them when you're within each section. The score report. When you take the online version of the TEAS, your score will be available immediately after you complete the exam. And it will also be sent to the college. We will have a separate video to actually go over how to read your score report. ATI does offer a dry run quick start guide. It's kind of like a mock exam. You don't actually experience any of the questions. It's basically to make sure that your space is set up well, that your camera is working, that you have the right computer system to be able to take this online. And it's to allow you to identify any potential computer issues. And it's strongly recommended that you do this. You won't have the link to it until maybe 1 or 2 days before the exam, but you should not wait till test day to do it. Okay, so there's the brief overview. See some of our other videos for specific content areas and other questions that may come up. Thanks.